Do you like Ime Udoka's approach and mentality with the Rockets in terms of their physicality?
It's the way he played basketball, so I wouldn't expect him to coach any other way. You got a bunch of guys, young guys, who he can mold into that. You got a guy already who you added to that, Dillon Brooks, that plays that way already. Doesn't need your assistance in.
I was already gonna do it
in this way. So
that shit anyway.
Yeah, no, they become that, man. They taking on the identity of their head coach, and yeah, I'm with it. You know, I'm all for imposing your will on people, and it seems that's what they in it to do, and they don't mind fouling to get it done. So when you don't mind fouling to prove a point, then you will prove those. You know what I'm saying? Shoot as many free throws as you want, but we're not going to adjust. So I'm with it.
Good, you like Ime Udoka's approach in terms of physicality and getting other teams to complain about foul calls?
Yeah, I mean, that it works. It works in preseason. I mean, in regular season. And I mean, I like the approach where he says, you up it and let the refs adjust to you. Just, understand that playoffs will favor them because, it's a more physical play. You're allowed to get away with a little bit more. But whatever calls Steph don't get here, he will be getting them in the playoffs. So as long as they know how to adjust fast. But, they have a team that actually know how to play defense, right? You're not talking about a group of guys that are just trying to bully. They actually do, all of them know how to play defense. So they're going to be able to adjust fast.
Ime Udoka, Coach of the Year. The Boston Celtics' whole championship swagger was jacked from him, and now we're seeing him rebuild his whole swag again in the West. And I think it should be very appreciated because the grittiness that the Boston Celtics have built has come from his pedigree down in San Antonio. And like I said, as a corner boy, he knows what that grit looks like and what that, that intensity looks like. That face-off with Steph.
Yeah.
Didn't he have one with LeBron?
He did have one with LeBron.
He don't give a fuck about these dudes, man. Don't give a fuck about
Mike
y'all.
called him the B word.
What the fuck you think this is, man? It's a players' league, and ain't no player above no other player. So I like his approach. Yeah. I like it a lot.
We talked about it last week, but even Ime just changing the culture in Houston so fast. You talk about what he did with the Celtics. That Celtics squad going on to win a championship with Missoula. Now coming with this Rocket squad. Don't have necessarily that Tatum, Jalen Brown, but you got Jalen Green, Alpren Sengun.
A lot of different
two emerging young stars.
Then you look at that scenario with them two, and you got, Missoula and Udoka.
Yeah.
And then you got Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr. Like, if Mark Jackson gets another opportunity to ever coach, he could put players in position to look like Klay, Steph, and Draymond as far as that mentality of what you need to do when you're on the floor. So Ime deserves a lot more credit than he's being given.
Yeah.
Lacey, you agree with that? Obviously, Celtics fans saw what Ime did over there.
Yeah.
I had the situation, but got his career back together.
Yeah, and I want to shout out Dillon Brooks because he kind of was in a weird situation when Memphis got rid of him, and people kind of were not high on him because of his over-aggressive play and things. Now you're kind of seeing what's going on in Memphis and how they kind of needed that from him, and now he's on a team where he's embraced more, and the team has taken on that entire personality, but they don't do the most. They just really just lock up and play really hard, and I think that's the environment Dillon Brooks needed, and he's been doing really well. So I'm really happy for Dillon Brooks because the way Memphis got rid of him was not cool.
He's still poking the bear. Obviously had the situation with the Lakers, did a lot of talking in that playoff series and kind of backed down towards the end of it. I think that was your issue was with him. Keep it consistent.
Yeah, you got to
stay consistent.
Yeah, that was.
Memphis didn't get rid of him. Shit, he took the money. Shit, he followed the money.
Well, yeah, but they try to make him like a scapegoat.
Yeah, they definitely. They made him.
They try to make him.
No, they tried it.
No,
they tried it.
He wouldn't make no scapegoat. That's the way he was being him. Ain't nobody making.
No, that was the series. No, the series was.
I hear.
He was poking, and then at the end, he wouldn't do no interviews and all that stuff.
I hear all that, but he took the money. Goddamn.
Well, yeah, but they still kind of try to pay him weird.
But the Grizzlies did announce they weren't going to re-sign him.
It was weird. They was moving weird.
That's what they. When nobody had no offers. Trust me, they would have signed him.
So we asked
the decision now.
We asked the chat how the Rockets are going to fare in the postseason. Gave them 4 options: first round exit, win a playoff series, make the Western Conference Finals, make the finals. 51% of the chat thinks the Rockets will win a playoff series. 42% said first round exit.
Damn.
5% of the chat thinks the Rockets can make the Western Conference Finals. 2% thinks they can make the finals, though 2% likely all in Houston. But shout out to our chat. We are a diverse chat all over the world.
First round exit.